There are moments when the world seems to quiver, when every number on the screen is no longer just a number but a ripple in the depths of human fear, desire, and hope. And here I am, caught in this current, watching as oil explodes skyward, dragging the fragile world of Bitcoin with it, and I cannot help but wonder what lies ahead. Have you ever felt the air thicken just before a storm? That's exactly what it feels like today. Everything is pulsing, volatile. Everything could tip, just like that. Before we dive into this storm, let me ask you, if you're searching for clarity in this chaos, if you want to walk with me through these shadows and lights, subscribe to Crypto 101 Central. And don't forget to click the bell, because every moment counts, every tremor matters, and you won't want to miss what's about to unfold. So, let me take you right into the eye of this swirling market. There's this strange dance happening. Bitcoin, battered and breathless, tries to rebound. But its movements are more those of a wounded animal than a triumphant return. Every uptick in price feels like hope struggling to breathe. But from where I sit, this isn't the beginning of a new ascent. I see the ghosts of levels unclaimed, ambitions left dangling in space. I fix my gaze on those points between roughly $65,000 and $64,000. A fair value gap, haunting and magnetic. When I stare at these charts, it's not numbers I see. It's a map of fears. The market, with its fevered climbs and panicked dives, is an echo of our own anxieties. This weekend's price, closing near the high 60,000 range, is a desperate attempt to stitch together what's been torn apart. Futures closed around the same region, while spot hovered slightly below, like a heartbeat trying to recalibrate after a trauma. And in these spaces, in every gap the market leaves behind, I feel a peculiar tension, a pull to return, to make whole what's been broken. Maybe the price will try to claw its way back into that fair value gap somewhere between the upper 60,000 range and around 70,000, as if searching for lost meaning. But I carry in my bones the understanding that rebounds, sometimes, are only the market's way of catching its breath before the plunge. Take oil. Oil is no longer just a commodity. It's become a warning siren. On one trading platform this weekend, I saw it moving toward the 100-plus region, a figure that clangs inside my head, relentless. Meanwhile, official futures, paused, had closed around the low 90s, ready to awake to a new, steeper reality. When the bell rings again, that gap could explode, spilling over the peaks of 2022, the shadows of 2018. It thunders past the wounds of past inflations, past every prediction. The Fed finds itself chained, hands trembling, unable to reach for rate cuts that might have once soothed this fever. Every time oil surges, every time the price per barrel creeps higher and higher, the probabilities shift like sand. June, July, September, the hope of lower rates evaporating like morning mist. This market is pricing in nightmares, not dreams. We used to whisper, just a month ago, about rate cuts by June 2026. Now, that timeline feels like ash in the mouth. Maybe October, maybe not even then. What happens when hope is pushed further and further away? It isn't just oil, this unstoppable tide. Gas rises too. Each data point a curl of smoke from a fire we can't quite see but feel burning under our skin. Inflation. Yes, that word, sharp as a blade. While the economy's blood flow slows, the labor market stumbles, the GDP falls below expectations. We once imagined 3%, but now we clutch at barely 1%. A shallow breath, a faltering step. It's a peculiar paradox. As the world slows, heat still radiates from every conflict, every factory, every barrel of oil. And the war, it's a drumbeat in the distance, louder every day. On one side, a cooling economy hints at retreat. On the other, the battle keeps prices ablaze. The Fed, paralyzed, lost somewhere between the fire and the ice. If this path continues, liquidity withers, risk assets teeter. On Wednesday and Friday, the world will hold its breath for new data, the core CPI, the core PCE. Each set of numbers is not just a bulletin, it's a haiku of our anxiety, a prophecy of what pain or relief might come. I let myself sink into the rhythm of these weeks. Each move, every retracement, feels like the tide. Sometimes I wonder if the market is just a symphony of nerves and inevitabilities. We hover now, perhaps poised for a last rebound before sinking to those cold levels again, around 65,000, perhaps even near the low 60,000 range. From the 1st of April, we approach that dark bottom of the previous quarter, that pit just under 60,000, a place that seems to freeze time with its promise of hardship and its whisper of opportunity. I watch these quarters flicker past like scenes from a film I cannot pause. Each new beginning, April, July, October, reshuffles the cards. A rush to grab liquidity. A sudden, unexpected thrust. The first quarter of 2026 was painted in somber hues. A bearish season, a hunt for what was left after the North had been cleansed. Could the second bring surprise? Perhaps a hesitant, trembling retracement, or maybe lower grounds, new lows. Another layer peeled away from what we believed was secure. Unless somewhere, a handshake, an uneasy truce, ends the war. If peace seeps in, oil could settle, and the risk assets, so tortured these last months, might sigh with relief. But for now, all I hear is tension and the soft crackle of uncertainty in every technical signal I read. On the technical side, the charts whisper only doubt. Bitcoin has re-entered the range, as if shunning clarity. For something hopeful to emerge, we need to see an escape to the upside, a clean, triumphant break. For now, though, the market is like a wounded dancer, unable to leap. Even the Nasdaq, with its glitter and noise, is not immune. Its own path dips hesitantly toward an important quarterly level, echoing past lows. There's this almost poetic struggle between Bitcoin and Nasdaq, an unending competition of fragility and daring. Last I checked, Bitcoin was limping behind, the underdog, the doubter. But with the market closed, all bets are suspended. We'll see on Monday. Maybe Bitcoin will outpace. Maybe it will falter again. Emotions soar and crash as easily as prices. Ethereum, too, moves in the same shadow. I feel in its chart the same weary breath. A reaction, a re-entry, a fair value gap torn open, resistance looming. I watch the candlewicks as if they were heartbeats, each fighting rejection. The likely path? A stumble toward earlier lows, levels in the mid-thousand range, perhaps drifting lower if pressure continues. A month set to retreat, another storm to weather. But for those who dare, who step in when others shrink, maybe, just maybe, there's an opportunity lying in those murky waters. For long-term investors, I see it. This bruised zone is tempting, even as the shadows lengthen. Yes, the market can still fall. Yes, it can drag us farther down. But if you've ever felt the wild heart of this world, there are zones where courage begins to matter more than fear. This is how I live these days, half in dread, half in awe. There is beauty in this risk, in the shock of sudden loss and the unexpected comfort of a new potential rising through the cracks. And if you're still with me here, if this strange weather of hope and fear resonates with you, if you breathe with these markets as I do, click that like button. Let me see your support shining through the dark. Leave a comment. What are you feeling in these days? What haunts you? What kindles your anticipation? Thank you, truly, for walking this path with me. Stay connected, subscribe, ring the bell, and step with me into the next storm, the next revelation. And if you want to go deeper, watch the other videos surfacing now. I promise, every story will help you endure, and maybe, just maybe, glimpse the light hidden in all this chaos.